guys, welcome to another episode of Around the Table GTA. This is season 3, episode 4, and we're going to be talking about the F word. And it's not the F word that you guys think, but it's an F word that's slowly becoming more and more taboo as we move into the future. And it's kind of strange because, especially like as I was growing up, how I was brought up, even like with how the media was, this one word wasn't necessarily demonized to the state that it is now, where when people try to use it, they'll use ambiguous words, or they'll disconnect everything around it so that they're removed from it, but they're still trying to be involved with it. I've always found it strange. I think I could talk about this word enough, but not even mention it, and people would know what I'm talking about. But just for the purpose of simplicity, we're going to reveal what the F word is, and the F word is faith. Right there, just mentioning the word, it kind of puts you in a perspective of stereotypes in itself. There's multiple definitions of the word faith, and in this episode we're going to be exploring multiple versions, but I'm going to start with the base one, and I would say faith is the complete trust or confidence in something or someone. That is the basis of what faith is. And it's crazy where when you mention faith, people will automatically think it's some type of religious thing, which a lot of people who say faith or use the term faith will emphasize whether it's a belief in God or anything else. But the funny thing is that if you put your faith into anything, that's faith. If you believe that you're going to be driving 200 miles on the highway and you're not going to get caught, that's faith in your driving ability. That's faith on the car not getting to an accident. And that's just faith of being reckless and getting away with it. A lot of people put their faith in doctors and science in this day and age, but ignore other signs of different things. And I'm not saying that you can't trust doctors. I'm not saying you can't trust science. But when you talk about faith, a lot of people will bash other people on believing other things, despite also not having 100% proof of it being there or real or a possibility. The fundamental thing about science is that it's always testing whatever is believed. So something that could be a science fact is something that could be 99.99% accurate, and they're going to use that as a benchmarker until they could find that 0.1% to change the whole theory up. And when it comes to faith, it's something that I think people are losing, not only in a religious sense, but in their selves or humanity. And I think that's kind of sad, just because with social media, with the internet, with TV, even with like video games to an extent, it kind of gives us a cookie cutter version of how the world is. And it puts us in the perspective of whoever paints the portrait of how life should be or how life looks. There's a term that is as old as TV, and I completely forgot the term because it's late. So I'm going to keep talking and I'll figure out the term. But basically, with that term, it's talking about, oh my days, I can't even remember it. And yeah, but whatever, we're gonna keep this. It's gonna keep the episode how it is. But yeah, people are losing faith, but at the same time, people are finding faith. I recently figured that out. It was really weird. I was on Spotify and I was I was on Discover Weekly. So if you don't have Spotify, I know a lot of people have like Apple Music or whatever, or they use YouTube Premium, or SoundCloud Plus. All these streaming platforms have something that, or even like Tidal. Whoever uses Tidal, I don't know. I don't know anybody who uses Tidal, but anyways, I heard a Wiz Khalifa song and it was called "Thank Him," right? So I was listening. I'm like, oh, I haven't listened to Wiz in a bit. His music's not bad. Like that's the thing with me. There's certain artists that I I have like I could say that I'm a fan of to an extent, but I just never listen to their music. And it's not that I don't like them. It's just that the chances of me listening to their music is off. So I was just listening to those Wiz song, and he was just it's like called "Thank Him," and I was listening. I'm like, is this guy talking about Jesus? Right? Because it's just like thank him. I just want to thank him. Yeah, this is kind of, I guess this is an advertisement for uh for the song, but yeah, just listen to it. And I was just like, is this guy singing about Jesus? Right? And then after, with the whole Kanye West, wherever he's going, because he started with like Jesus Walks, and then he went through whatever phases of life, and then he had that gospel album, and now he's just being toxic 24/7 when he can, because I don't know, he's dealing with some things. But Kanye dropped the gospel album, and it was just like, what? And he was talking about like not swearing or making like secular music, even though like he turned back on that. But he's dealing with a lot, so we gotta allow him. Yeah, and then after, DJ Khaled had an album called God Did, and it was just like, what's going on? Even like yeah, there was a revised version of a Kanye song, and then even Eminem is talking about stuff too, and it's just like, have all these people really found faith in God, or has something just happened for people to put that back on a spotlight? Because even like when we talk about sea theories, if you go deep enough, there's always like, if you go like deep, like I'm talking about the rabbit hole, any type of conclusion that you get to, if you go deep enough after whatever you discover, there's a big portion of that where it's like good versus evil at the end of like majority of conspiracy theories, if it's not just something to distract people, or try to get you to join a cult. I actually use CT, so hopefully this doesn't get shadow banned, but it goes to a concept of a good and evil, and it puts you into another spin if you ever get to that point without getting distracted by anything else. But yeah, it's just like a lot of people have been away from faith, but at the same time, if you focus, a lot of people have turned to faith. And whether it's like a faith in God, or a super faith in science, or even like faith in the government or policies and stuff, people have been slowly being very drawn to different things, whether it's like even a movement. So if we rewind to let's see, 2015, where a lot of people were moving for like the trans movement, and then like even I think Black Lives Matter was maybe a year before that, where people are being faithful towards different groups and then pushing those group ideologies, right? And is this necessarily a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I can't tell you that. Good and bad is subjective to an extent, right? Like it depends on what your faith is. But either way, with faith, it comes at a price. And I think for someone who is authentically themselves, sorry, I'm getting caught in my brace, but like, yeah, if you're authentically yourself, you're having faith in yourself where you could not care less about what someone thinks about you or feels about you, because you are a full expression of yourself and you are comfortable with how you act, whether someone perceives you negatively or not. It's not necessarily your concern. What you're concerned about is what you're doing. And I think it's unfortunate that it takes a lot of people a long time to get to that point. Me personally, I think I this is actually a really good story. So, um, basically, I would say that I've been authentically myself since I was about maybe 10. I just stopped caring about how people thought, and I said ridiculous things, and I did a bunch of, if I look back at it, it's like cringy or, weird or whatever. So I think the craziest time when I was like 100% authentically myself and I couldn't care less. So, story time. So I was in grade 7 and I got invited to this party, and like everybody was there at that time. And there was this one girl from this other school, because like when I was in grade 7, that's like that was our year where we were just going around doing like the craziest stuff, either like skateboarding to other schools or like riding our bike to other schools during lunchtime, or like forging notes so that, oh, we could do this or we could do that. So we were just doing the craziest stuff. So like I went to this house party and we were all chilling and everything, and I'm still an anime fan, not crazy anime fan, but I still watch a lot of stuff. I still read a lot of books, like the manga, right? And that was like when Dragon Ball Z was on TV, and if you were a fan, you were a fan. So this party was the same day as the latest episode of Dragon Ball Z, and I had to I had to stop and go watch Dragon Ball, right? So like, I asked about the TV and everything, and then, some people were making fun of me that, oh yeah, he's like, why did you even invite him to the party? He's gonna go watch Dragon Ball. He's such a nerd, blah blah blah, right? So anyways, I mission and I'm in front of the TV. I'm watching Dragon Ball Z because I'm not missing an episode, because back then you couldn't go on YouTube or whatever. Like if your friend didn't record it, you'd have to hope that they remember the episode properly so they could tell you, or you'd have to wait like 50 weeks for the replay, or when like they cut the season and then after they start replaying a bunch of episodes. But even when they replay the episodes, you don't know how long it is until you're gonna be able to see that episode, right? So I'm there, I'm flipping through the channels, Dragon Ball Z, and just going through different schools and meeting different people. Like a lot of people had a crush on this one girl, and she was at the party. Guess what? This girl was a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. So it was me and the girl alone watching Dragon Ball Z, because everyone thought they were too cool to watch Dragon Ball Z. And then later on, I got her information, and then I was talking to her very casually, because, back then when you're a kid and, someone's like super attractive, or everybody's like obsessed with someone, you kind of like step on your words. But when you're genuinely yourself, or and you're both interested in something, a lot of the conversation feels like supernatural. You're not even thinking that, oh wow, I'm super attracted to this person, or this person's attractive. I hope I don't mess it up, or I don't come off as weird. We're just talking, and like what everybody else thought, because people were like peeking through, because people were playing like 7 Minutes in Heaven and all this random stuff at the party, and Spin the Bottle, all that stuff. And it's just two people in a room talking, right? So people are were peeking in and everything. It was wild, but anyways, I had to mention that. That's like faith in yourself. It's faith in yourself and faith in your value, your worth to an extent where that it doesn't matter what you say or how you present yourself or what you do. You're going to attract the people who are supposed to be around you, people who will potentially be around you, people that are kind of meant to be in your life. And yeah, like I said in the other episode, I've had like a bunch of people in and out of my life recently, and some of it has been good, some of it has been bad. Like, I actually went to a pool party on Saturday. I've been to like four pool parties this summer, yeah, but on Saturday, and it was because I reached out to a friend who I haven't seen in a while. Like, I haven't seen them in like maybe a year and a half. And I remember like a while ago, like we had an argument where it's just like, oh my gosh, you didn't message me. It's been like 3 months, and then like we had a back and forth, and then now it's just like, oh, I haven't seen you in like a year and a half. Let's hang out. So then they hosted this huge pool party, and it was hilarious. It was fun. I was like, I had a fun time. But yeah, you have to have a faith that you and your friends and the people that you're around, you still have that bond. And like, despite not seeing them for that long, and I would say like moderately talking with them, because we used to talk a lot more, but things change, time change, people change. Not necessarily that they change, but it's just the trajectory of our friendship and just the things that we had to do, and then like also me being on nights. It changed a lot of things for a lot of relationships that I had with people, friends and more than friends, etc. But having that faith that your value or what you potentially might mean to them is there, so that you guys could just pick up anytime and go. I think that's one of my universe powers. I think I'll do an episode on universe powers too. But basically, that's some of the things that you have to have your faith in. And when you shake in faith, that's when things become rough. Things become crazy. So, have faith, whatever it is that you believe in, and make it worth it, right? Find what is right for you and embrace it. Take care.